And value investing really does seem easy. You buy stuff when it's undervalued, and you hold on to it, and you sell it when it's overvalued. But we both know it's not that easy. But the difficult part of the discipline is it's all up here.
Yeah. Well, this is I've thought a lot about this because you're right. Buffett used to say, you can't persuade someone to be a value investor.
Yeah.
You either get it or you don't. And I've had that experience over and over again. Some people it just doesn't. And I think one of the variables that makes it difficult for a lot of people is that value investing requires a leap of faith.
Yes.
And that leap of faith is that at some point, the fundamentals that we do, that's the work we do, is coming up with the fundamentals. Those fundamentals will be reflected in the stock price. And that's not always the case. So there have been some exceptions to that in my career. You spent time in Japan. Valuations don't always end up being reflected in stock prices, or even stock prices or valuations don't influence managements. We go on and on about the Japanese and to some extent the Koreans. But the idea that at some point, this kind of goes back to market efficiency. Value investors don't believe markets are perfectly efficient, but they don't believe they're inefficient either, perfectly inefficient. Because in the first case, if markets are perfectly efficient, I'm wasting my time.
Yep.
And in the second case, if they're perfectly inefficient, I'm wasting my time.
Right.
So there's over time, markets will become more efficient, and valuations will come back to where they're. That's a leap of faith.
Yep.
That we just accept, and in my experience, it's almost always been true. You have to think about it sometimes where it might not be true. But I think that's one of the things that people that amateur investors or novice investors may not appreciate that leap of faith, or may not have that leap of faith. They may not know what the fundamentals are. So that's one of the things I think distinguishes value investors have this faith. There's a corollary to this that I think is interesting, and that is if you're patient in terms of holding a stock, you also have to be patient in terms of not holding stocks or owning cash.
Yeah. So
you have to also believe from time to time there will be opportunities to buy stocks cheaply, even if you can't do it today. You have to have faith that at some point it will be cheap again, and you can redeploy that cash.
Yeah.
And again, that's part of what we do and part of the way we think, and it's certainly been my experience over the years.